We all have them, characters we return to, not because of the plot, but because something about them just feels safe. Comfort characters. But what are they, really? It's not an easy question to answer. There's no specific category that defines who can or cannot become a comfort character. It varies from person to person. At their core, comfort characters are fictional characters that give us a sense of comfort, safety, or familiarity. In stories filled with chaos, they are often the ones who make everything feel a little more bearable. The ones who give both the story and us a moment to breathe. But what's fascinating is that this feeling doesn't necessarily stay inside the story. It follows us into real life. Fictional characters affect us far more than we would like to admit. People find comfort in characters because they see parts of themselves in them. Psychologically speaking, there's a reason for that. When we connect with fictional characters, we usually don't connect with them because of their personality alone. Most of the time, we connect with them because of what they've been through. Giving everything for a cause you believe in, losing a friend, watching a friend become an enemy, realizing you're not as strong as you thought you were, having your sense of self-worth completely shattered. These aren't just fictional concepts, they are deeply human experiences. They are the kinds of emotions that people deal with every single day. And because of that, when we see those emotions explored in a game or a movie, something clicks. We recognize them. We look at a character and think, yeah, I know what that feels like. Maybe the exact same incident didn't happen to us, but the overall theme resonates with our own experience. That feeling is familiar, so their story feels personal. But that's not the only reason. A comfort character doesn't necessarily have to be someone you relate to. Sometimes it's actually the complete opposite. Sometimes a character becomes your comfort character because they are everything you're not. For example, if you're naturally introverted, there's a good chance you'll be drawn to a character who's outgoing, confident, and effortlessly social. Someone who walks into a room and immediately knows how to connect with people. Someone who seems completely at ease in situations that would make you nervous. And in a weird way, it almost feels like they are telling you, hey, you're overthinking this. I remember the first time I played as Nathan Drake. For a surprisingly long time afterward, I kept thinking about him. Every now and then, he would just pop into my head and I would find myself smiling. The funny thing is that I'm not really anything like him. I'm introverted, he's incredibly extroverted. I don't think I'll ever be as energetic as he is. There's some part of me that would never allow me to be that relentlessly positive. And yet, thinking about him just makes me feel better. There's something incredibly calming about his presence, something safe and trustworthy. It's almost as if there's no bitterness or impurity in him whatsoever, just pure sincerity. On the other hand, I've always felt much closer to Connor from Detroit Become Human, and he's also one of my comfort characters, because in many ways he feels familiar. The way he always looks at the logical side of a situation, the way he cannot fully understand human emotions. That's autism, I think. The confidence he carries. But what I love about Connor's confidence is that it doesn't come from arrogance or ego. It comes from competence. His confidence isn't built on fantasy or self-delusion, and that's how I objectively perceive myself. I give myself credit for the things I'm actually good at. I approach situations from a logical perspective first, so I find comfort in him because of similarity. So from my personal experience, when it comes to comfort characters, identification and contrast are almost equally powerful. Sometimes your comfort character feels feels like a reflection of who you are, and sometimes they are a reflection of who you wish you could be, or they just seem interesting because they are so different. Sometimes a character gives us a sense of comfort because we admire something about them, a trait, a mindset, a way of looking at life. Sometimes they represent qualities we would like to strengthen within ourselves, or we are simply drawn to their value system. For me, one of those characters is
Arthur Morgan, Vanderlyn's most trusted associate.
Now, before I go any further, I'm about to talk about the ending of Red Dead Redemption 2. And look, it's been ages. At this point, pretty much everyone has either played the game or simply knows about it. But just in case, consider this your spoiler warning. Alright, back to Arthur. He's definitely one of my comfort characters, and one of the biggest reasons why is the way he deals with the idea of a terminal illness, and eventually the acceptance of death itself. I've never suffered from a serious illness, but I've had more than my fair share of near-death experiences. And if there's one thing those experiences taught me, it's this: I'm afraid of death. There, I said it. And for years, I've tried to push that fear away. I've tried to rationalize it, ignore it, fight it. But I never truly came to terms with it. And in a strange way, playing as Arthur brought me a lot of comfort, especially because I already knew what was waiting for him. I knew he was sick and that he was going to die, and because of that, I treated every moment differently. I wasn't rushing toward the ending. I wasn't trying to finish the story as quickly as possible. Sometimes I'd spend hours hunting, or I would wander across the map, just discovering places I'd never seen before. I completed every side mission, every interaction, every little piece of content the game had to offer, simply because I knew it was going to end with death. It took me almost 6 months to finish Red Dead Redemption 2, and not once did I regret spending that much time on a single game.
I had a son. He passed away. I had a girl who loved me. I threw that away. My mama died when I was a kid. And my daddy, well, I watched him die. And it weren't soon enough. I guess I'm afraid.
There is nothing to be afraid of, Mr. Morgan. Take a gamble that love exists and do a loving act.
All aboard!
Something about Arthur's words calmed me. This is gonna sound insane, but playing as Arthur healed something. And that's when I realized sometimes acceptance is comforting. Sometimes simply understanding where your deepest fear comes from is enough to make it feel a little lighter. For me, hearing Arthur admit that he was afraid of death was a wake-up call. It pushed me toward a realization that I had been avoiding for a long time, the realization that I was afraid too. But when I think about Arthur, I remember something important. You don't have to conquer your fear, you don't have to erase it. Sometimes all you need to do is to acknowledge that it's there. This has actually been one of my deepest personal experiences with the idea of a comfort character. And it's not just about how similar I am to the character, it's more like a wake-up call, a push toward accepting a pain that the character himself comes to terms with, and something I find myself wanting to follow in his footsteps. And that's why sometimes comfort characters are tied to admiration. There's another reason why a character might end up being your comfort character: when they represent something you feel you're missing. And that can take many forms: a strong father figure, a maternal presence, a loyal friend. Each of us in one way or another might feel a gap in one of those areas. And when we see a character in a story who fills that exact role for the protagonist, we connect to them on a deeper level. We find comfort in them because in a way they are showing us something we've been needing, something we've been looking for without even fully realizing it. Some people think comfort characters are only the good guys of the story, but that couldn't be further from the truth. A villain can become a comfort character for many of the exact same reasons a hero can, because comfort doesn't come from agreeing with what they do, it comes from the emotional need that character fulfills. Most of us spend our lives trying to control our impulses. We don't always say what we truly believe. And a lot of time we suppress our emotions just to keep things under control. We think about revenge, but we never act on it. We feel anger, but we bury it. We imagine scenarios, but we never bring them into reality. But villains often do what we don't. A villain can feel comforting because they express emotions that the audience usually has to hide. Watching them can feel strangely freeing because they act without the same restraints we place on ourselves. And in those moments, the viewer isn't saying, I want to become this person. They are saying, a part of me understands this feeling. I just never acted on it. Villains are allowed to be broken. Many villains are deeply damaged. The difference is that the story doesn't always force them to hide it. In many cases, heroes are expected to respond to pain in a very specific way. They are expected to stay good, to endure suffering and still come out morally intact. Villains are the ones who respond differently to pain. They don't always process it in a socially acceptable way, and sometimes they actively reject those expectations altogether. And for some viewers, especially those who feel emotionally wounded, that becomes deeply relatable because they see someone who doesn't hide their pain, someone who openly carries it. Because sometimes comfort characters aren't comforting at all within the story itself. They suffer, they struggle, they don't even get a happy ending, and yet they still manage to create a sense of comfort in us. The truth is, most of the time we don't consciously choose our comfort characters. It's not really a decision we make. It's something that happens almost on its own in the background of our emotions. So maybe now it's worth asking yourself the question, why is that a specific character your comfort character? Is it because they are similar to you or because they are completely different from you? Maybe it's because you admire them, or maybe it's because they act as a bridge to a part of your emotions you don't usually touch. Take a moment and think about that. And if you want, write it down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video and have a nice day.